Hello and welcome to the show. We have another challenge for you today. So, following the success of whatever it was a couple of weeks ago or 3 weeks ago or however, I forget how long, when we went budget car racing, we sort of spent 50,000 credits on an A-class car and took it to some public lobbies to see what happened. And people wanted to see some more of it, so we're going to give it another go. This time, however, we have a budget of 40,000 credits to build B-class cars. And for once, we're actually going to be sensible. You didn't expect us to say that, did you? I'm not going to have a 600 horsepower muscle car. We're doing this relatively sensibly to try and get a decent car out of it. The only restrictions are we are not going to use Lotuses, the Lotus Elises, or the Elan or whatever.
Which I'm sad about.
Because it's too straightforward and we would always end up picking them for these. However, this is the car that I'm going to be using. It is a Honda S2000. I was keeping with the sort of the theme of small, lightweight sports car. I mean, I couldn't put a race weight reduction on this thing because I ran out of PI, but it still only weighs 2,700 pounds. Power-wise, it's got 268 horsepower, which is fairly respectable for a B-class car. So parts-wise, it is on racing tyres, which is good. I found out last time you definitely need racing tyres. Got racing suspension again, pretty good for handling. However, it only has sports brakes. I ran out of money, so yeah, that's a little bit iffy. I would have liked some racing brakes, but never mind. It's also got sports displacement. I can speak English, honest. So it's got a little bit more power than standard, but not a huge amount.
This is what I've bought. I've gone for something slightly different. I've gone for a BMW M5. It's the original M5, the E28 model. This has got obviously slightly different upgrades compared to Alex's Honda. This has got 286 horsepower, so a little bit more power. 251 pounds-feet of torque, but it does weigh 2,700 pounds, so pretty much exactly the same, which is quite impressive for a saloon car. But that is probably down to the race weight reduction. I went for more, because I knew that the M5 was quick in a straight line anyway, I went for more handling parts. So I've got race weight reduction, race brakes, which is a big help, as you will see in the video. But I have got no engine upgrades, so I have gone purely for handling. So no engine upgrades at all. So yeah, I was looking forward to it, actually. It should be quite close.
Yeah, race 1 was on the Tsukuba circuit. A nice tight and twisty track. I luckily started on pole, while Daniel, you started down in like 13th or 12th. You were right
Something
on the back
like
row.
that, yeah.
Somehow, you managed to avoid the carnage on the first corner. When you race
I don't
online,
know how.
Yeah, I don't know how you got through that. You were so lucky. When you race online, there's kind of an inevitability about a big crash at the first sort of corner. Amazingly, you were like up in 5th or 6th, I think.
Yeah.
From the first corner, which is pretty damn good.
Yeah, pointed it at the corner. It's sort of, I mean, it was purely luck that I didn't get caught up in all the carnage, because I honestly don't know how, because of the fact that there was a massive Celine super cab or whatever they're called. One of them was directly in front of me on the start line. I thought, yeah, it could only end one way, but it didn't. So no, I was quite happy with that. I was having a good little battle with the Mazda. Literally about after the second corner, we were having a good little scrub, and he was definitely quicker than me, purely because of the aero.
Yeah, that Mazda, amazingly actually, that Mazda wasn't that far behind you in a straight line, which is surprising considering a car running that much downforce. It's normally rather slow when it comes to that long straight. He had a little bit of a look at the first corner. Unfortunately, he then disconnected, so we never got to see the race unfold between you two, which is a little bit of a shame. Back at the front, and I was having a bit of a scrap with a Ferrari California. Well, it didn't really last very long. The Ferrari drove right round the outside of me and then was gone. I fended him off for about a lap. You just
definitely the fastest car.
Yeah, it wouldn't. I cannot do. I tried as best I could to defend from that, but if he drives around the outside of me at the hairpin, I can't do any more. Really, I would imagine, although I'm not sure, the California is a leaderboard car. Either that, or it's an incredibly well tuned and incredibly good driver in that thing. Because it was just gone. You had got yourself in another battle again.
Yeah, I was having another battle. This time I was battling with a Nissan Silvia. Again, this had the Silvia had aero, and I didn't, which was a bit unfortunate. But I persevered. You can probably tell that he is all over the rear end of the car. So I was having to defend like mad, which did work actually. It was working so far, but no, it was compared to A class. I find races like these more enjoyable because they're slower, and if you make a mistake, that's it pretty much. You have to really work at it to get it back. So it's much more tension and all that. No, I was really enjoying it. He dropped back a little bit because I think I just may have gone a bit slower than he was expecting on the apex.
I think it could have been a little bit of lag as well. No,
yeah, a little lag doesn't help. No, I was doing really quite well.
So back towards the front. This is onto the final lap now. Amazingly, our budget race cars were currently in 2nd and 4th, which is not bad for our first ever race with these, or first ever proper race with these. The Mitsubishi Colt here does a very impressive overtake around the outside of the Dunlop Bridge. Well done for your bravery there. I wasn't going to give up with this though. I wanted the 2nd place, so I take a lunge at the hairpin, knowing my Honda's still pretty good race car. Again, the Colt goes right around the outside. That thing must have some properly good tuning on it to be able to do that. Again, I don't know if it's front wheel drive or what. There is a little bit of tyre screechy lagginess going on, so ignore that bit. However, my Honda is very quick in a straight line, so as we come up towards the final corner, I had another lunge. The Mitsubishi is going to try go around the outside, realises he can't do it, goes for the cutback, but just doesn't quite have the speed. So I claim 2nd place.
That was a very close finish.
That was a fantastic final lap. You finished in 3rd, a fairly undramatic 3rd. Our next race went on to Laguna Seca, one of my favourite racetracks. I love this place. However, I was a little bit concerned with my car. Actually, we were a little bit concerned with the first corner here. It's notorious for crashes, and we were both towards the front of the grid. It looks chaotic. I think we were about 4 wide at one point coming into there. It is utterly mental. However, everybody got through it fairly cleanly.
We did. We got through.
I think a Clio drove into the side of you. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I did get a little bit of a love kiss from the Clio, but I think that's just where he came on the track, and I just happened to be in his way as he came back on. But there was no major damage done, so I wasn't complaining about that.
It was all a fairly clean start. The Ferrari was gone again. We're just not worrying about the Ferrari.
It was a battle for the second here.
Yeah, both of us we're fairly. I think we started sort of mid-grid, but we got a really good first corner. So we were now battling for 2nd and 3rd. This is where the problem with my Honda is, as much as I like this car, it's a fantastic little car. If I was to build it without the restrictions of money, there are some things I would change. I'd get rid of the engine bits, I'd put a wing on the back, and I'd put racing brakes. Because as we come up towards the corkscrew, the BMW can just brake a little bit later. And we almost got the move done. I'm now going to get a cutback as we run out of the exit.
You got a very good cutback there, something that I was surprised about. I mean, I know
my turn to try the outside overtake.
Yeah, you tried the outside, and I got mega sideways. I did have quite a unusual moment, and I let the whatever that is that a Chevy Spark? I think that was.
A Chevy Spark's joined in the party, and we come up towards the final corner on the first lap. It was a busy first lap. I think that is about 2nd to 5th are all within the same camera shots. Out of the final corner, you got a better drive than me, but of course the Honda is faster in a straight line by quite a bit. And I don't know why. We can't explain why the Honda's faster.
It's surprising.
It's less powerful, less torque, same weight. Maybe it's the standard. Both of us got standard gearboxes. It's possible that the standard gear ratios in the Honda are better, so you get better acceleration out of the corner.
Probably the only explanation for it.
I can't think of another one. But yeah, the Honda was mighty in a straight line. It was faster than most of the other cars as well in this lobby, which is confusing. I'm not going to complain. It was pretty useful. But when it came to the corners, I just didn't have the stability I could really have done with a rear wing. So I was having to defend like mad. The Chevy Spark then managed to get the pair of us, which
we had a little bit of a coming together, and then it just caused. We had a little bit of a coming together, and that allowed the Chevy Spark to get through. But we were still staying with him. We weren't giving up.
I then tried to have a look. You don't really want to overtake through there. The Spark fell off the road on his own accord. That wasn't my fault. I didn't touch him. And then we both get back past him.
So we both got through.
It was a fantastic.
So all in all, a good couple of corners.
You can see in the background as well, there is a RX-7 and the Silvia again having their own race. So there you go. That's second to
grass cutting
can I count 6th in the same shot. It's all very, very close in this race. Again, Ferrari's completely vanished. Your side was again through there. Your car's more sideways than I remembered it being.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just that corner. I think because of the camber, and obviously because I couldn't tune up obviously the anti-roll bars or anything. That sort of in that respect, it was quite. I got a massive drive out of that corner.
Yeah, but
probably
no
the perfect drive, and yet
BMW.
you still, and you still drove away from me in the Honda.
Not
But yeah,
what you would
because
expect
you
to
can't.
say an S2000 faster than an M5 in a
Yeah.
straight line. It shouldn't work like
I
that.
don't. It was confusing, but yeah, you would because you can't tune. Obviously, because these cars are on a budget, you can't tune the parts that you necessarily would. I got a pretty damn good drive out of that, but then the power of the Honda came back.
The power of the Honda. I pretty much spent this entire race defending from both you and
This
the
is
Spark.
definitely a handling circuit.
It is. It's the Laguna Seca is made up of a lot of sort of medium speed corners, which are utterly terrifying in this Honda that just slides everywhere. It's incredibly
I can't
scary.
believe how
The
close
Sparks
we were here.
It's ridiculous. The Sparks are now having a look, trying to get past you. You're actually in a really tough position between attacking me and trying to defend
I was
from
right
the
in the
Spark.
middle.
It's
And
always
that
a
is,
tricky
that
one
is
to
probably
do.
the worst place to be. Yeah, that is. There's the Nissan Silvia that I was racing with last time. He
Yeah.
was coming in to join the.
However,
you fell off.
everything
Unfortunately,
went wrong. I don't actually know what happened. I think I hit a curb awkwardly. The RX-7 gets very lucky.
Oh god.
Cars changed at that point. I think I just bounced off the curb awkwardly and it spun me round. Unfortunately, sorry to the Silvia, I ended up collecting him. There was nothing either of us could do. You then got passed in all the sort of chaos by the Spark, but you weren't quite finished. There's a little bit of a rally crossing there, trying to find.
Yeah, a little bit. Ignore that. I was trying really hard because we did have a really close race, and I was determined to get, because this was a battle for second again, because the Ferrari was gone as per usual. I think the Ferrari had finished by now. So yeah, I got a massive drive out of that corner and thought I could probably get him on the cutback, but I just outbraked myself, by about 10 foot, and I locked the brakes up just a little bit, and that sent me off into the gravel. But no, I mean that's probably the closest race I've ever been in an online lobby for a while.
Yeah, that's probably one of the best online lobbies ever. Now I saw this in the background and I had to go and investigate.
Oh, good God.
That is an Alpha managing to roll. I've never seen a car roll with that curve. Well done, sir. You are a specialist at rolling cars. I've never seen a car roll there before. That is very impressive. So the next round goes on to Infineon, or whatever the hell the racetrack's called these days. I can't remember which version of it. One of the longer versions. There was a crash on the start line, as per normal. Both of us started quite a way down on the grid, just about got away with
I started
chaos.
second.
Did you start second? Really? You got mugged off the start line then. It was chaotic. At the first few corners.
However it was chaotic. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very
pretty much
busy.
the
It's
gist of it.
always busy through here. Now you just about caught the end of a Mini having a crash. I'm going to go back and show you what happened, because this was a rather terrifying moment for both of us. Here comes the Mini, and he managed to roll it as well, right in front of us.
Do you know what? I remember that, and because it was, there's so much more stuff going on. You don't really pay attention. When you see it back, you think, my God, how did we not hit it?
Though for both of us, he rolled pretty much past the side of you and then in front of me. I've actually slammed on the brakes to avoid that one. You'd managed to find a way past a Civic. There's a big Honda group going on here, a Civic and NSX and
There
an
is,
S2000, all having a bit of an argument.
A BMW leading all of it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, but you're being led by a Saab, so you can't talk too much. And then there goes the Ferrari. It's already starting to make up places. That damn Ferrari is so blooming fast. But it does cost
definitely
millions
a
of
leadable
credits,
car.
so
Yeah.
it's fine. The Saab then gets completely taken out. I'm not sure what happened there.
I
don't
think
know
the
if
Civic just forgot to brake or something like that. I had a massive sideways moment.
There was a few sideways moments through that bit.
Yeah.
There.
I think, again, this is the problem, like it was on Laguna Seca, because you can't tune the necessary parts, to do with camber changes and all that. It does get very tricky when it comes. I can't believe how quick the Ferrari went round that corner.
Ferrari is going
insane.
to go right around the outside of me. Again, nothing I can do about it. Also, on the aspect of on these cars and stuff, we hadn't driven these tracks necessarily in these cars before. So we've not practiced, especially this track. I don't think I've ever driven this track with this Honda. I have done I think we did a race on Tsukuba before. But yeah, we don't know these tracks, so we're kind of guessing a little bit on the braking points and that sort of thing with these cars. Which, if we were to be doing serious hot laps at least with these, you would practice a little bit more with them before you go into it. It wasn't long before the Ferrari got past you.
I did the. I think I held it off for. Yeah, I think I held it off for about. I think 3/4 of a lap, and then half a lap, and then obviously the Ferrari took me. Me thinking,
more rally crossing.
me doing a bit of more rally crossing. Yeah, me thinking that I could get it back was a mistake, and the Ferrari just left me for dead.
You can see
so
it's like 3 corners, and it's pulled out 50, 60
400 foot lead.
That's-
Yeah.
well, maybe not quite
By
that
the end of the
much yet,
first,
but
by the end of the first lap, it was about 200, 300 foot in front, which was
I think
incredible.
yeah, that Ferrari, when we look at the fastest laps, we were 2 or 3 seconds a lap slower than it on a good race. That was when we weren't sort of squabbling among ourselves. That thing is insane. I think this is the final lap now.
This is the final lap.
Gone.
Yeah.
Cameraman's a little bit drunk. Ignore that. We need a new cameraman.
What happened
You were
there?
trying to get. I don't know what's going on with the replay cameras there. You were trying to get past the Alpha. This was the one that amazingly rolled at Laguna Seca. It's actually a pretty quick car.
It is a
it's
little
not
nipper.
falling over.
That was.
Very fast in a straight. Not quite so good through the corners, but incredibly fast in a straight line. Although your BMW might just be slow.
Yeah.
Final corner, you can't quite get it. I had a bit of a mistake. I outbraked myself in that chicane, which is why I've fallen so far back. And the Silvia's right behind me again. But there we go. You couldn't quite beat the Alpha to the line.
No, I had a good old try. That was a
tried.
fantastic race by the Alpha.
Yeah. Now this is a fourth race. We're just going to mess about, carry on, have a little bit of fun. Unfortunately, Daniel's connection died. We can't get more than 3 races out of it before something goes wrong with it. Amazingly, we've got this far into the recording without something breaking yet, which is always good. So
don't say that.
I was just sort of messing. Yeah, I probably should have said that. We were just sort of having a mess about. This is about for first and second. We are miles ahead of the lead, and the car that's chasing me is being driven by the same guy who was driving the Colt earlier, who does possibly the bravest overtake I've ever seen.
That now. That is
not
probably the
what you want to
best overtake I've ever seen in a B-class lobby.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
I have never overtaken somebody around. I mean, you might overtake someone on the inside if someone gets it a little bit wrong, but going around the outside there, you have to have absolute belief, or in his case, he has to have absolute belief that I'm not going to get that corner wrong, because if I go sideways or run a little bit wide, he is going in the wall, and I will probably get away without too much damage. That's a fantastic overtake, so well done. That is probably the overtake of the year so far. That's a
that will definitely be in the first gear awards when we get around to doing it, the overtake of the year.
That. We should do a first gear awards. We've got to stop coming up with ideas in the middle of videos. But comment if people would like to see that. We will do that at some point.
Yeah, definitely. That would be so fun to do.
That would be a good video. It'd be a bit time consuming, but that'd be a pretty good video. Anyway, there we go. That is it for budget B-class cars. So for 40,000 credits, you can get a pretty damn competitive car.
Yeah.
Ideally, there are things I would change with my Honda, and I'm sure there are things you'd change with your BMW.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's still, I mean, we came in the top 4, with the exception of me crashing out. We came sort of in the top few on most of the races, and our lap times weren't particularly bad. Admittedly, I was defending a lot, so my proper lap times I don't really know, because I was taking silly lines to try and defend. But yeah, those cars are good fun to drive. Also, B-class racing is fantastic fun. In my opinion, it's the best class to be racing.
Yeah. I mean, A-class I have my Lotus, but that's just, that was no budget or anything like that. But for a budget class, B-class it's really fun because, like I said, you have to concentrate a lot more. And if you make a mistake, then that's pretty much it. You have to work incredibly hard to get the position back, or however many you lost. So no, if you haven't raced B-class, build a B-class car and go for it, because it's really fun.
Yeah, I mean, there is also an element. We were quite lucky in that we had some very good races. We had some very clean races. You know what Forza's online can be like, or any racing game online can be like. But still, we had a huge amount of fun for not an awful amount of credits. So I recommend you give it a go, see what you guys can come up with. And if you'd like to see us do more budget sort of racing, we can change the budget, change the classes. Leave comments and say what you think. However, that is it for this video, guys, so thank you very much for watching. As ever, any other challenges you would like to see us do, then of course you can leave them in the comment section. We will have a look through and we will pick our favourites. However, until next time, goodbye.
Bye.